pleasant good day, viewers. My name is Javon Wilson, coming to you live out of 284 Media. Now, you may remember Nicoy Hendrickson. I keep saying Richardson, my apologies. Nicoy Hendrickson, the young man who was actually offered a scholarship from homegrown telecommunications company CCT. Well, not only did he complete his Bachelor's of Business Administration in finance degree, he is also, he did it in record time. He was able to do it while completing 24-hour semesters, taking up leadership roles, and might I add, getting promoted at work. So lots going on for Nicoy at one of the best schools in America. How did he do it? And where does he stand today? Viewers, I am so honored that today's guest is the one and only Mr. Nicoy Hendrickson, our newest graduate, accompanied by the man behind the vision, CCT's CEO and the founder of CCT's Dreams Unlimited Scholarship, Mr. Avrat Penn. It's an inspiring conversation that you want to be a part of. So stick with us. There's more after this quick commercial break.
The win.
What is the hell?
I'm freaking out.
Is about these people.
It's always a pleasure coming to you live and direct from the
What's poppin', what's really good?
Davis has won it for the
Viewers, as promised, we are here with Mr. Nicoy Hendrickson, who, of course, is 1 degree hotter, and the CEO and brainchild behind the scholarships offered at CCT, Mr. Avrat Penn. Welcome, guys. I should say welcome back to 284 Media.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
All right. So, Nicoy, you and I sat down less than 2 years ago, of course, to speak about this opportunity of you going to school on this scholarship that was offered by CCT. I know at the time all you had was the money, which is from CCT, of course, and a dream to pursue your degree. I want you to walk us through what that journey was like for you in a capsule.
Okay, so I left around August 18th or so, give or take, in 2019. Once I got there, it was like a different world in a sense, because I've never been in the Northeast or in the North. I've never made it past Virginia, actually, even though I lived in the States before. I never made it past Virginia in my previous trips to America. So it was a different world.
Right.
Tall buildings, you know, very, very cold. It was a different type of cold than I experienced in South Carolina during my high school career. Aside from that, it was a new experience. It was, instead of being amongst a classroom of 30 students, it was a classroom of 300 students. And it's like,
wow,
you know, a campus where I'm competing among 6,000 different students within the same field, within the same business school, to accomplish the same goal of coming out on top or achieving more than the other person. Because while you are, while others may be sleeping or anything like that, there are some people out there working. So I needed to be one of those people who was working and putting all of my extra time into becoming a better person, a better business professional, and so forth.
Excellent. Now, you mentioned the difference in climate, but you are also attending one of the best schools in America. So let's speak a little bit about the actual university that you attended, which of course is Temple's University. What was that experience like for you in particular, just knowing that you're essentially going to school, I guess, among the best of the best?
Well, it was a very challenging experience because, like I said, you went from a classroom of 30 to a classroom of 300 students. So it's like more people want this, like you have to, in order to be number one, you're fighting amongst more people to get to that spot. Temple itself has an amazing program. There was a Fox Leadership Development Program where you got to go to different conferences within the school. Like they would bring the CEO of like people from Johnson and Johnson, people from PNC Bank, people from JP Morgan Chase, people from the big firms. They also have a very good relationship with the top 5 companies in accounting in the world, the Deloittes, the KPMGs, and so forth.
Right.
And those leaders were coming into my classrooms, were coming into different settings. I was able to shake hands with those people. I was able to exchange emails with those people, connect on LinkedIn with those people. As well as I had some of the top professors in the world. One of my professors actually sat on boards with President Obama, sat on boards for the defense of the U.S. In conversations with China and trade wars and all of those different things. So
Wow.
to have that experience, to have met those people and get their perspective on the business world, get their perspective on life itself,
Right.
get their perspective on when they made certain moves and, not rushing because, like you said, I finished my degree rather quickly.
Record time.
So
Oh my gosh.
I finished a degree.
You didn't have much choice.
I actually graduated with 150 credits, but only 60 of those credits were transferred from HLSCC to Temple. So that's 90 credits that I completed in a span of 2 years. There were winter semesters, there were summer semesters, there were 24 credit semesters. I never stopped, I never, took a break, which is necessary. I did have burnout a few times. There were a few times where I even called Mr. Penn, I called Rakim, I called my mom, I called other friends, my father. And it's just like, hey, I need to, de-stress and
Yes.
take care of myself. But Temple itself is a great program. It's a great school. They figured out how to, bring that world to us that they experienced, and I am happy that I was able to go there. I wanted to go to a cheaper school for obvious reasons,
Right.
but I'm now happy that
You had that
CCT,
opportunity.
Mr. Penn believed in me enough to spend that kind of money for me to be able to get that quality of an education.
Excellent. Now, Mr. Penn, you just mentioned that he didn't have a choice but to finish quickly.
No, he didn't.
But, I remember at Nicoy's graduation virtual ceremony just recently, he compassionately referred to yourself as the CEO as well as our HR manager, Ms. Rakima Turnbull, as his scholarship parents. Why do you think the gift of education is so important to you and I think CCT as a company on the whole?
Well, education to me is the great equalizer. It's the thing that we can do in society to really help change people's experience and move them from one station to another. I was very fortunate to have a really great education, and it's served me well. Many times you don't even know how your education is going to serve you because you may not see it today. It may be opportunities that you have much later in life, and you'll say, "I learned this thing here," or "I learned that thing there," and it all kind of comes full circle. And I'm so grateful for the experience that I've had. And I know when we were developing CCT, and we've kind of come a long way in the last couple of years. Rakima Turnbull has been with me on this journey at CCT pretty much from the beginning. And we always tried to figure out what are the things we can do to make ourselves kind of like a preferred employer, a place where people would want to work, and we celebrate the accomplishments of our staff, try to create opportunities internally so people can grow within the company. And we're really proud of that. So wherever we can find an opportunity to give people the training and the education to make them better, we try to take advantage of that. It's somewhat altruistic in being a good corporate citizen, but it's also, I think, good business, because the smarter your people are, the better your organization will be. Hopefully, the more money you will make. So it's not totally altruistic, but it's something that's very important to us, and it's we're really proud to have developed to a point where we could do something like this. As much as we're immensely proud of Nicoy, we're also very proud that we had grown to a point where we could have this Dreams Unlimited scholarship, and we could identify people on our staff and try to give them those opportunities. It's not only Nicoy. Nicoy probably had one of the bigger scholarships, but we have several people on staff. I think we have 5 or 6 people on staff right now who are doing different education programs, and we try to continue to support that. So it's very important to us, and it's very it's central to who we are and how we feel about our employees, how we feel about running this organization.
I think it speaks volumes, and it's really testament to a culture that we're not necessarily accustomed to. When we think about businesses, organizations, companies, they're not necessarily vested in investing in their human capital, their human resource. And like you did mention, there is a selfish component. Yes, you know, you're investing in this person because you're hoping that they would give back. But ultimately, what we're creating is more well-rounded people. I think the community deserves that. So I just want to say thank you for what you do as a CEO, and of course, Ms. Turnbull, for providing that opportunity for persons who may be interested.
I think the key word, not to cut you off, Jovan, but the key word is investing. We're not. This is not a giveaway. This is us investing, and we kind of live by the principle: if you'll invest in you, we'll invest in you.
Right.
For him, you know, did so well in that, we found another opportunity for him, and then when it got to that point, we were like, okay, this is a person who really could further themselves considerably if he could go and get a bachelor's degree. He may not have that opportunity economically. Is that something that we can support?
Excellent. Now, Nicoy, Mr. Penn just mentioned the fact that you were promoted several times within the organization, and clearly the company recognized a deep talent in you, but also your interest. Let's speak to just dive a little deeper into the actual experience of going through this bachelor degree experience. I know you played a leadership role in many capacities. You got promoted. 24-hour semesters. It was a lot. You were juggling a lot. So just walk us through in detail, if you can, some of those experiences. And also, Nicoy, as a young man, I mean, you're 20 who? Very young, clearly. How are you able to balance all of that? Because I think that's a lesson we're all trying to learn in life. Balance. You know what I mean?
Okay. So at 21, one of the things I figured out and I realized that I have to do a few years ago is just go get it. In where we grew up in this community, a lot of people think that things will just fall in their laps, or they do. Let's say I did my job for like 2 weeks, and I'm like, okay, they should do this. No, you have to keep working and keep working and keep working and keep working, and then you'll be rewarded in some way, form, or fashion. So we can't sit down and think that everything is just going to fall in our laps. So for me at 21, and which I figured out a few years ago as well, I have to try, I have to go seek opportunities, I have to learn to, ask the question, because you can't sit down and expect things to fall in your lap. So you spoke about being promoted. I started here in 2016, customer service representative. I came in, did the interview. Then about less than a year after I was hired, I was then promoted to retail services. I spent about a year and change in that position. Then I was promoted to administrative associate. And then I was able to be awarded the scholarship. I went to school, came back, and in January of this year, it was more so of a lateral move, but still a promotion. I then became the finance associate here at the company, which more so fits to what I went to school for and so forth. So in moving through all those stages, everything was just me going to get it, because these past 2 years are not the only time frame in which I did more than just work or did more than go to school.
You've always been that person.
I've always been that way. So 2016 to 2018, I did my associate's degree at HLSCC. I took the gap year off to take a break and figure out how I'm going to pay for school and so forth. And then I also then worked when I came home from school here at CCT while pursuing my bachelor's. Most recently, this past year, I had an online internship. I was a lead ambassador at Temple University. I was awarded a CMA scholarship, which is Certified Management Accountant Scholarship. I was supposed to go take that test in October of last year, but then I wasn't able to due to COVID restrictions and so forth. So I'm going to actually take that exam in October of this year, because there are different testing windows that you can take it. You can't just go and say, hey, I'm taking this. I was also the top Fox Leadership Development Points Earner for the spring 2020 semester. That's the person who went to different conferences before COVID impacted us, of course. Temple was able to send me to Rutgers University for a day to go to the MARC conference, which is basically about making your mark on the world. You listen to different people speak, you listen to their different perspectives. So over the course of the past year, I've just been doing. And like I said, there have been some moments where there was burnout. But I had my friends, I had my colleagues, I had my family, I had God, I had all these different people, all these different things, whether it's going on the timeline on Twitter. VI Twitter is like, you know, they are supportive. They're there, you know?
Right.
So even if it's just to go see a video that makes me laugh or something, or takes my mind off of something, all those things contributed to where I am here today. I don't plan to stop being this way. I will take a little break in a month or so. I'll take a week off. Hopefully, Mr. Penn approves my. See. hopefully he approves my leave. But I just need a break to go. Relax.
You deserve a break, Mr. Penn. He deserves a break. Okay, Nicoy, just check me.
We'll take it into consideration.
Just check me if your leave isn't approved. Okay, I'll put him on the news. All right. So just to divulge a little bit, Nicoy, I recall not so long ago you reflecting on a very different type of struggle with being in America for school, which of course mirrors a conversation that we've been having here, and that is the conversation of the Black life struggle. I want to ask you, what was your experience like going to school within that climate in America?
Well, in Philly, where I lived, Temple itself is on the outskirts of the bad area in Philadelphia. It's like right there, you know, like I have to walk through that area to get to school. I have to walk through that area to get home. I have to walk through that area to get to the grocery store. So my mother always used to send me money to, you know, take a lift to school, take a lift back. And I'm like, okay, if this lady wants to just willingly give me $16 a day to take a lift to and from school, I'm going to save that $16 to, you know, do something like go to an NBA game or something like that. And I'm going to walk to and from school because you also need the exercise. So there were a few nights when on my way home, you hear the gunshots ringing and you just want to make it home. So you're getting this great experience at this top university in the United States, top university for several different reasons. But at the same time, you're fearful that you won't even make it home. And you're not even someone that's involved in all of these crimes and different things. So aside from that, there's also the fear of when you hear that siren, that police officer, you know, following you to your apartment, or different situations that would happen where, you know, you feel like you're being discriminated against, you're being provoked. There was a point in time where I got to my apartment and like the officer keeps circling the block. You have on a hood because you're super cold. I'm freezing. I'm from the Caribbean. I don't know anything less than 65 degrees.
Right.
And that's only at night when it's cold in the hills. Outside of that is 70 degrees or up. So when I'm walking home in 19 degree weather or 15 degree weather, and it tells you that it's 19 degrees but feels like 9, and different things like that, I have my hood on, I have my beanie on, and I'm just cold. Trying to get home. So to be harassed in those instances just because of the color of your skin or because there was a crime, it was very troubling. And, you know, I'm happy that I made it out. Yeah. And I wasn't another statistic on the negative side. Right. Because so many people were trying to just get home and were taking out, right? And I know, Mr. Penn, this is a familiar experience to you as well. I know there are lots of people in the BVI that say this is America's struggle, it's not a problem. And even when we had the Black Lives Matter protest, a lot of persons didn't identify with that struggle.
What do you want to say to those persons, Mr. Penn, who said, this is not our business?
I think it's somewhat naive, to be honest with you. I hope that doesn't sound too pejorative. But, once you leave the Virgin Islands, you are viewed a certain way. You don't get to choose how you're viewed. And from my perspective, I don't even think it was a bad thing that Nicoy went through some of that. Obviously we don't want him to be harmed in any way or, these things. But understanding how the world views you and what the challenge you're up against is actually part of your education. And when people travel and they leave the BVI, they certainly have to understand. I would argue there's some elements of racism here in the BVI that people just don't really realize because they haven't seen a more stark reality outside of the BVI. But once you see that, you'll start to understand things differently, even here locally. So I think it's remiss of us not to be too naive and to think that we live in a cocoon because we live in the world.
Right. Nicoy, biggest challenge throughout this entire time? Biggest challenge. I'm sure there were a few.
Biggest challenge is probably dealing with exams.
Okay.
I don't know, because the exams are different. You don't get a study guide to go into your exam. You just have to recollect that information. Another big challenge was, here it's a who you know community. So if Nicoy is Arad's assistant or Nicoy is Jovan's friend, Jovan's son, I know Sarah gonna give it to Nicoy because they know each other and all of that.
Yeah.
That's not how it works out there. So that was different. I had to go and stand in those lines to shake those hands to get those opportunities. Being awarded the CMA scholarship was networking. Right. Because only 10 scholarships were given out. That every year they gave out 10 CMA scholarships. I, Nicoy from the Virgin Islands.
From this small Virgin Islands.
Black.
Yes.
20-year-old at that point.
Yes.
I was 19.
Yep.
Somewhere around there.
Yes.
I received one of 10 scholarships given out to
a
business school of over 6,000 to 10,000 students. So that was a big deal for me. But it was also, that could be my biggest, that was my biggest
highlight.
win, my highlight.
Yeah.
But that was also one of my biggest challenges because I'm going into it and I'm trying to make sure all the I's are dotted, all the T's are crossed, Q's are crossed, everything. And I'm like, I want to get this, I want to get this, I want to get this.
Right.
And I'm like, but it goes back to what I said earlier. You don't know if you can get it if you don't try. You don't know if you can get it if you don't go to that opportunity. Yes. So my biggest challenge was being the black boy in the room from the international, from the BVI. I'm not a U.S. citizen, so I might slide down the line a little bit. So it could probably be, just me getting over the fear of not being accepted to different things. Yes. And I was rewarded several different opportunities just for simply trying and doing my best.
And you certainly did your best. I know you've done the work. And I think, again, this is testament to who you are, Nicoy. I'm sure there's a few persons you want to thank outside of your CEO who will be approving your leave soon. So if I would like to give you this opportunity to say thank you to those persons.
Okay. There's a long list, and I usually say I don't like name dropping because I might forget a name. So I'll try to be as general as possible. I want to first thank God. I want to thank my family in general, every single family member, mom, dad, sister, brother, cousins, everybody, who played a major part in helping me remain sane, helping me remain grounded, not letting me get too far away from myself, but also keeping me in check. I want to thank the government of the Virgin Islands, who also coupled the CCT Dreams Unlimited Scholarship for me to be able to complete my degree. They contributed a great amount as well. That includes also the leader of the opposition. He had a major part to play in also contributing to this. I would also like to thank
So many people.
there are so many
Yes.
people. I really don't want to name drop.
Right.
Another person who played a major part in getting me through the past year, outside of my mom, my dad, my family, is Monique Donovan. I'll also like to thank her for, giving me the opportunities to be able to pursue my studies and providing me with an environment when necessary to be able to do an exam, to do this, to do that. Sometimes electricity is gone here in the Virgin Islands. That's not a thing that stays on. So,
Yes.
If I can't make it to the office, I could run by her and be able to do my exams. She played a major part over the past year as well. So thank you to Monique Donovan and her entire family. I hope I did not leave anybody out. If I did, I thank you.
Okay.
I thank everybody.
Right. Mr. Penn, and I'm sure he's grateful to you too, as well as the extended company, CCT. In closing, though, what do you want to say to corporate BVI as it relates to their corporate social responsibility, and also the importance of investing in the human capital in your company? Because, like I mentioned before, it is not at the focal point of most companies. What do you want to say to them to implore them to, do this type of thing within their companies?
Well, I mean, I don't want to make us the example or anything like that, but I know I can just share our experience. We found that if you invest in your people, that it ends up being profitable for you in the long run. We've tried to spend our money on training, not our money on consulting. That's one of our basic premises. We're no stupider than everybody else. We have a lot of smart people here in the Virgin Islands, and they may not have had all the opportunities that others have, but if we can provide them those opportunities, we've seen over and over that they're able to excel. That's something that we've experienced a lot at CCT, and it's something that we're very proud of, and we think it's a good example. Hopefully other people will follow.
Excellent. Now, Nicoy, once again, we are so extremely proud of you and truly believe that you will do remarkable things. So I want to thank you for investing in yourself and say congratulations once again.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me.
You are welcome. Thank you, Mr. Penn, for being here. Now, viewers, education is very important, and CCT's Dreams Unlimited Scholarship aims to help professionals tap into their greatest potentials. Our recipients are destined to make a difference, and CCT, of course, will be right here to support and witness it. Dreams visualized to dreams realized. CCT is you. CCT is me. CCT is we. Thank you so much. We'll see you at 6 p.m.